Alright, Pat, this one's yours. So I traded out my gas pedal. I have a V2 Cadillac pedal. I have the 3-pin type brake pen position, pedal position sensor for the brake pedal. 2 pedals. And so here's the 2 different screens. I don't know how much of this is going to get absorbed into you, but I'll show you what we got. So this screen is the actual gas pedal, green and yellow signals. One is just twice of the other one. The engine computer reads both to make sure that you don't have a bad TPS sensor in the gas pedal or something. So it reads 2 signals, and as long as both of them are doing the right thing, everything's happy. If one of them falls off, then the engine computer says, oh, I don't care if that other one's going up, we're not moving. So you do have 2 that I need to manipulate. I did it, but this is what we're looking at. So you can see here, the green and the yellow, they went up. I just floored it, now you're up at top. Same thing happened over here because we don't have anything pressed. So what happens is, if I press the brake pedal in, this is the blue line over here is the brake pedal position sensor. You have to be over like 1.6 volts. Again, it's just a threshold and we can maneuver it. So I'll floor it, and look what happened. Your actual gas pedal is to the wood. You got your gas pedal all the way down. But the engine computer is only seeing a little bit. Sort of like you're power braking it a little bit, and you know you can't just stomp it because you'll blow through the brakes. So the engine computer is only seeing this little bit here. Let's say that's 15%, 20% throttle. While you're holding a foot brake and you got your gas pedal to the wood, you can adjust what that engine computer sees with the turn knob. So you're adjusting basically your engine RPM while your gas pedal's to the ground and your foot is on the brake pedal. Alright, so we find a happy spot. Let's say we're right there. Gas pedal's to the ground, you're power braking. As soon as you let go of the foot brake, I'm going to wait till that screen goes across. Dink! The gas pedal's been to the ground the whole time. All you got to do is just back off the brake pedal, and your computer sees wide open throttle faster than your foot ever could. Watch how, see how that line was a straight up line? Even me stomping this with my hand isn't even a straight up line. Alright, so that's just the foot brake. Left foot on the brake pedal, right foot holding to the ground. Now you have your push button, alright? You have a 12 volt input. That's going to be this green wire right here. I'll label it. Actually, I already did. It says 12 volt spare input. Alright. I'm going to push that to push that button down that you're going to hook up to the line lock button, and I'm going to floor it. See what happens? Same thing. So, but that's a separate knob. So you can leave the first one alone, and you can adjust a separate one now if you're on the push button. Alright, so that means your left foot's probably coming off the brake pedal because you're sitting on a line lock. So you can set that up to be, again, whatever you want to leave off of RPM wise. And then the same thing, as soon as you let go of that button, it goes to the motor. So if that's too much power, right, what you can do is you press the button, you floor it. Let's say it takes the hit, bang, you go 3 feet, and then the car starts spinning like crazy, the power comes in too hot. So what we could do is, there's this ramp knob, it's the third knob, it says ramp rate. You turn that guy down, and it's got a pretty wide range. You could turn it down to the point where your car feels like a dog. So you can leave at the same RPM that you left at originally, so it'll bang, it'll jump out, but after the hit, the power doesn't come in wild. It'll gradually come in, like you're just rolling your gas pedal to full like that. So watch what happens now. I let go of the button. See how slow that took? That was what's what the engine computer's saying for your gas pedal input. It thinks you got a perfectly smooth gas pedal, foot rolling. Meanwhile, the car's fucking jumping and going all over the place. And again, you can adjust that all the way from that slow ramp right there, which practically should let you spin on shitty, sandy roads, right? And you can put a little ramp to it if you want. Where is the green wire? Right? So we want to leave it the same RPM, but we want little ramp. Still need a little bit more ramp, all right? Put a little more in it. All right? Wait till that goes by. Ding. All right, so you could tone that down. You find your happy medium. Wait till that goes across. All right, so whatever. You change that ramp angle, and the engine computer either speeds up or slows down after you let go of the button. You do have two things that you may not use right away. Your when you stomp it, your red one right here is an auxiliary output. That's what most guys are using for that electronic differential. You don't have that, but that's the one I was saying. Maybe you can hook it up to some crazy flashing lights. Anytime you go wide open throttle, that is going to be a ground trigger. You could just make that turn on a relay and, I don't know, do something cool with it. The blue one is if you ever hook up a nitrous setup, you're probably going to use a nitrous solid state relay. They are ground triggers, and then they control the power side of the nitrous solenoid kit stuff. So you're going to, this has a wide open throttle output to trigger one of those. That's the blue one, right? So there is an adjustment for it, and it's a time delay. So what happens is you launch, and let's say you have this ramp set at a slow rate. It waits till the signal actually gets to wide open throttle. Then it starts a counter and rolls out. So the counter could be instant. As soon as that gets to the top, you'll see the blue actually fall off. Or you could put up to a 4-second delay on it. So basically you're like halfway down the track, and then you'll get a nitrous hit. So all this stuff is basically, once you set it and the car's working the way you want, it's just going to be repeat, 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 repeat. So you're not, you're taking all the human error out of it. It lets you dial in the car a lot easier. All right, so watch. So red is the ELSD. This right here, I still got a little ramp on it. That's why that blue one wasn't right up against it. So I'll put ramp all the way to the moon. And you can see, as soon as we got to wide open, that blue drop, that's your nitrous. Let's put a 4-second delay on. As soon as I get to the top, watch, see? Boom. Alright, so there's a long delay on that, and it does start the clock timer only after you get to wide open. So this thing is climbing, timer didn't start. Boom, now the timer started. 4 seconds later, think. Alright, so everything's working good, everything's lined up nice. I got to put a couple of knobs on the front of this. I got to print the top lid for this thing. I already labeled the wires. I just got to break this all down, put it in a box, and get it to you.